Hello, my name is Andrea, and welcome to my channel. I'm the primary caregiver for my mom who's been living with dementia for more than 3 years now. If you're a caregiver in need of self care or know of someone in need of self care, then this is the right channel for you. Come and let's journey together as we learn from each other.
Hello to all my YouTube families and friends. Thanks again for joining me in another episode on my caregiving channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Krista is my beautiful cousin. She's an amazing woman, a mother, and she's not only a mother, she's a working mom. And so I brought on Krista here today just to share a reality of something extraordinary in the life of a working mother. So Krista, welcome. I know you're balancing your career, your kids, and everything in between. Welcome. Let's get into it.
Thank you so much. I am just thankful to be here and, just kind of share, talk, and, just let, I guess, everyone into what it's like, to just be that mom that tries to really, you just try to do everything. And sometimes you have to really catch yourself and just know when you need to slow it down.
Wow. Yes. So Krista, what does a typical day look like in the life of Krista with your kids and with work?
Okay, well, it starts off pretty early. Getting up and making sure that everything is, set for that day. So when I get up, I try to spend a couple of minutes to just kind of focus.
Mhm.
And sometimes, there's days I'm not able to, but for the majority of my days, I try to do a focus, and it's just setting the tone, I'll say, for the day. So,
Mhm.
getting up and saying, you know what, I'm thankful for this day. I, have some goals that I need to do for the kids, for work, for me.
Mhm.
Just it's really probably a prayer, as well as just saying this is what my day is going to look like. So I start with that, and then it's getting the kids things together after I wake up a little bit and I've had my coffee. Getting their, breakfast together, making sure that their backpacks are where they need to be, things are in it, their lunch boxes are ready, their clothes is out, so that when I get them up, it's just the 1, 2, 3.
Mhm.
And that kind of did not come to me like I'm saying it. So when I say that to say that it took me a very long time to figure those things out, where I have friends that they figured that out a long time ago, but for me, I was not that organized person. So I've learned how to be more organized to help, just to make the day a lot smoother. But so, it just starts with a morning routine of getting everything
Mhm.
together. And then
Mhm.
once I have gotten what I need to do for myself together, gotten myself together, then I can get the kids up and get them to get themselves ready. And that's a big part of, I think, another thing that I have had to learn, and it took me a while, was getting them to a point where they're sufficient to do certain things on their own, so they
Mhm.
don't need me there to,
Mhm.
help them to brush their teeth every morning. Yeah, I need to do a check, but I know for the most part they're doing a good job. They get up, brush their teeth, their clothes is there, they can
Mhm.
get dressed, and we kind of start out that way, and it's breakfast, grab our stuff, and out the door.
And you have a routine,
Yes, and
a
dropping
routine
them
that
to
they
school.
follow every morning. So it's like clockwork. That's what they do. So they get into the rhythm of doing it on their own. Certain
Yes.
things, right?
Yeah.
You know what I should have shared with our viewers, that you have a twin.
Oh, yeah.
And a twin that they're wonderful, but they compete against each other.
Yes. So there are two of them, fraternal boy-girl twins, and the competitiveness is quite a theme. Although, you know what's interesting, they're much more competitive at home than they are at school. So
Mm.
home environment, it's I get the toothpaste first. No, I get the toothpaste. I get to sit here. But in school, they do very well working. And I guess it's not that they're working together. They may be in the same class, but they're able to have more of their own identity and express that. You know, it's I can see, you know, just over the years, there's seven. So over the years, I could see how being at school and away from, you know, home and family, they are able to be their own self. Whereas at home, I think they feel like they're kind of, you know, the two of them. It's the two of them. It's the twins, you know. So they do get very competitive, and it definitely makes for an interesting and eventful
Day,
day. So
each
yeah.
day.
Yes,
I
yes, yes.
know, I know. So that, you know, with all that you have going on, it really sounds like you have a full-time job at home and on top of your full-time 9 to 5 job. What would you
Yeah.
say is the hardest part of managing both the home and the work?
The hardest part, I think, and I think it's we as women, we try to do everything. And
Mhm.
even when, you know, we may know that, you know what, I don't have to do this or this can wait. It's like we, you know, just try to get it all in. And so I think the hardest part about juggling the two is just always wanting to do the extra, you know, work and, you know, work incorporated with raising, you know, two, you know, young children. um you know, I know that my family will always come first. So if I have some work that I've brought home, but I know my kids need to go outside and get some physical exercise, both for mental and physical wellness,
Mhm.
I'm going to do that knowing that, you know what, I have that stuff that I need to do for work, but my children are going to come first. So I'll spend the time as much as needed doing that. And then even if it's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night that I'm still working, I'm still working. So I think just trying to sometimes, you know, level off like what I need to do, what I don't need to do, and you know, just not trying to not fit it all in. It's challenging. It's very
Mhm.
challenging.
Mhm. Mhm. So I know you have a lot on your plate, but you know your kids do seem just very happy at all times. They're just bubbling and on the go. What's your secret to keeping them in that way?
And you know what? It's not me. I will say I give all the glory and the thanks to our God, you know, our God up above, because, you know, without the strength of Him,
Mhm.
you know, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we do. You know, the kids would not be as resilient as they have been. They wouldn't be anything that they are. We have to give thanks, and that's just my first and foremost, you
Mhm.
know, just giving thanks to the Lord, and just keeping them grounded in their faith. And you know, we always lean on God, and that's something that, you know, it starts at home. So I try to model that with them all the time.
Yeah.
Even in, the moments where it's the stressful moments and, the great moments, whether I'm celebrating something or I'm having a hard day. It always goes back to, what God, either give me the strength or thank you, God, because that's what, that's what I
Amazing. I
need.
love that. I love that.
Oh yeah, that's and they do a great job, also being able to express that and pray. And I'm very thankful that they have followed, in my footsteps in that way, for sure.
Nice. I love that. They say train up a child in the way he should go, so when he's older, he'll not depart from it. So, we all have to be mindful of that in rearing kids and just giving them, keeping them on the straight and narrow path. So, they want to stay on it. Then what's your support system looking like? Do you have family? Maybe it was, I don't know, friends? I don't know. What is it that you use?
I think it's both. They're friends and family. And I think, one thing I've learned over probably the past couple decades is, we always think of family as blood family. And I have learned in my life that the closest people to you, the, people that you lean on the most, that you love the most, that you care for the most, are many times, they're not blood family. They're family, that you've come to know as, close like family, or friends that just become so,
Family like.
near and dear that they're family.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to say it would be both.
Do you use apps? Any apps for your kids, just to help them with whatever? Referring to like apps in controlling your kids, because I know they have certain apps that you use.
Okay, so YouTube Kids
Uh-huh.
is one that they've used, probably for a little bit. They had it on the tablet. Yes, and so that is a good one. And I do think that's a good app because you can control it. You can set what it is that you want them to watch, what it is you don't want them to watch, and then you can set the time limits and things like that. So
yeah, I came across one too, and that's what funny. I have to use an app on your aunt, which is my mom. I have to use one on her with her tablet, because if I don't do that, she will be up all night playing on her tablet. So I have to use it to shut it down and everything.
Oh,
I use this one very cute called Family Link, and it helps me to like just say she's going, and you see her doing something on her tablet that she shouldn't be doing, getting into sending out messages to people on WhatsApp. What I do, I shut it down right there. So
okay.
yeah, so I do use that. So okay, so you don't use any of those kind of apps.
So do you use it in a way that it's already set for a time limit, or you do it one if you see,
Yes, both.
Okay,
It's a mixture. But then again, what I know from you is that you are someone who don't keep your kids on a tablet forever. Like some people have give them a tablet to silence them. And that's one thing that I appreciate and always admire about you. You always have them in the park playing, which is amazing.
Yes, you know what? I'm glad that you brought that up, because I have over the past, I know that is something that's been big with me. And I know I was slacking. So probably a few weeks back, I said, wait a minute. Okay, let me do a check here. What's going on? So I have been really making an effort, not just to get them out of the house and go to the park, but I mean like an intentional effort, being very intentional about not just taking them out, but what are you doing out here? Because I want them to understand physical exercise and the importance of it. for your, your mental and your physical body. And I think at this age, it is so appropriate. The younger they can get into feeling good about working out, feeling good about themselves, and kind of notice that, that feeling that, okay, well, you know what? I wasn't feeling so great today, or, this happened, and then we went to the park and mom made me run around, 2 laps around, and I felt better. Or, just kind of setting the tone for, we do physical exercise at least 3-4 times a week.
That's amazing.
So that they can carry that with them, and it becomes something that's embedded in them. So as they get older, it may be that they find a sport they really like, and the sport becomes that few times a week that they're doing that exercise. But somehow they need to get it.
Yeah. So let's talk about you, Crystal. What do you do to recharge and let down your hair as you're doing now? What do you do?
Oh,
Relaxation. What do you do?
that is a department that I think I really need to always improve. I think I have to go back to the exercising, because exercise, and everybody's so different. But for me, it's something that I do for the release of the stress, the mental energy and the physical energy, and my overall body, vitality. And having worked out for over 35 years, I have seen how my body has been over these years. And I'm just very grateful that I started so early, that I feel like if I hadn't started then, I wouldn't feel like this now. So, it is interesting. Like if I am not able to work out for a week for some reason, like if I've ever had so much stuff going on at work, or just something, where I can't get to the gym, or even if I've been a little under the weather, my body just feels abnormal. It feels like there's something wrong. So I have to have that. So that is a big part of my regimen, but also I do a lot of meditation. And the meditation that I did 10 years ago is not the meditation that I do now. It's vastly different. I see meditation very differently. There are times where I may meditate and meditate on something, or depending on what the needs are. And so everybody has different needs. So like if I know that I'm in need of just a relaxation, and I've got too much stuff on my mind, I may meditate to clear my mind, and try to do that several times a day if it's that much of a stressful situation, or just making sure that I'm doing it so that I am relaxing myself. And I think the relaxation piece, I could definitely use some more. And I also try to get a good rest, which is very hard for me to do because my schedule is so busy. But I try to get as much rest as I can.
For all the moms out there that are watching who feel like they're drowning right now, what advice would you give them at this time?
Ooh, and that's a big question. That's a big question. But if I had to give advice, I would
Even
say
one advice, yeah.
I would say just to stop and relax, think, and take a moment to just breathe and just figure out what it is that you really need in that moment, and focus on that moment and be in your present. A lot of times we spend so much time thinking about what we need to do, thinking about what we should have done or what we shouldn't have done. And being in the
busy.
present moment, yeah, just being in your moment and saying, okay, well, right now, this is what I need to focus on, and visualize what it is that you want, and just, live in the present moment, and relax. And once you make it known, this is what, God, this is what I need, let it go, and let God.
Man, I love that. What do you hope your kids will remember most about this phase of their life?
This phase of their life, oh gosh, I hope that they will remember how fun it was learning, because I think this time of their life is such of that spongy phase. And I hope that they remember that, you know what, I went to school and I learned so much. I learned so much from family. I learned so much, from the people that are around them, their support system. But they just remember that, this was the good times. And I always go back to, I can always lean on the Lord. I can always call on God. That's going to be like first and foremost, for them. That is my hope.
Yeah.
That they are just happy, and they give their worries, give their worries to God.
Yeah, and really and truly, life has its ups and downs, really. One day everything is okay, and then something drastic just happens and just change the whole dynamics of your day and everything, and just put you into a tailspin. It happens all the while.
So, it's funny that you had mentioned about sometimes you never know what your day is going to throw at you. It was resonating in my mind today. Oh, we have a call later on, a Zoom call, and I'm gonna, talk about some things about the kids. And, I'm thinking about it throughout the course of my day. And, when I picked up my kids from school, I noticed that things were a lot more challenging. The day was more challenging, getting them in the car. They just, not that they don't bicker, but it was just intensified. We had to stop at the grocery store. I had to talk to them more times than I would usually. Just back in the car when we got home, it was just more and more. I felt like I had to discipline them more and more. I'm talking to them, and I had to really step back and say, you know what? You really have to be so careful of your words and your thoughts, because I said to myself all day, I'm thinking about what I want to say. And even though I prayed this morning about my day, I know at the end of my day, when I put all of my thoughts together, I was not specific enough and intentionally enough about what I needed for my day. And I believe that there's such a spiritual warfare out there that any negative thoughts that could come and bombard me about my parenting, being a good mother, am I good enough? Am I strong enough? Being a single mom, am I tough enough? Am I too tough? Are my kids misbehaving? Are they not disciplined? All those things were hitting me. And I just really, really had to step back and really pray and ask God, you know what? I really need you, because this came at me so unexpected, but it was really expected because I had put the thoughts out of what I wanted, but I didn't put the thoughts out of what I needed. And I believe that when I was able to step back and say, hey, God, I need you now, things got
Better.
much. Yes.
Wow. Isn't
So
he
I just
amazing?
wanted to share that. Yeah.
Yes, that's amazing, Crystal, because we have to be careful what we speak and what we think. And
Yeah.
even while we are working, the enemy is trying to negate what we are doing, you know? So
Yeah.
it's exactly what we're,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
how to unravel you. Yes.
Yeah, so as I'm putting my thoughts out about how I want to, share and help people, what's coming back at me
Mhm.
is no, you're not going to be able to because you're not that person. And I'm like, no, I am that person. So what you
Oh,
be so protective of who you are and confident in who you are and what you want to do because it they're coming to take it away, the negativity, it's just
it's
something you
real.
have to be
It's real.
you
It's
have to be
real.
so careful of. So
Mhm. It's
just wanted to share that. But yeah, much better day. Or I should say much better evening after that one. But yeah, you just never know.
Yes.
Never
It's,
know.
I mean, I hope you're not one of those parents that beat up on themselves when situations happen. Because I know I used to do that, like if there, even with my mom, things out of my control, things that I can't even control, and I'm like, oh my goodness, how did this happen? And it throws us off so badly. And caring for my mother is similar to caring for a child, to be honest, because she's back at that stage. So what you have said here is very valuable to me. Exercise, exercise. I know you are somebody who specializes in how you eat too. I mean, you are what you consume in your body. That's something that you think about a lot, and what you give your kids too, right? So
Yes, definitely.
it's the same thing with me. But yeah, and I thank you. I know, Krista, what's your title again? Your job title? Because I know I'll be inviting you back on my channel another time because I know you're very qualified to speak on a lot of other things, a lot of other areas.
Well, thank you. And I'm learning both ways. It goes both ways, learning a lot from each other.
Mm-hmm.
But I am a youth therapist. I have a background in school psychology. I worked in education and social work. So I spend a lot of time, a lot of time both at home and at work, working with emotions. And so, I think at home, it's different because you're working on yourself and your kids, but the the reality of working as a therapist is, you want everyone to feel good and be better, do better, just like you would your own kids. You can't, take them home with you and work with them, but I, definitely want the best for everyone that I work with, and it's 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 probably was my first passion, along with the fitness and exercise. That's been a hard, like, the both of them are just two of the loves in my life. So,
Oh,
uh, yeah, just helping
they are
people,
both
really helping
amazing.
people, I should say.
Yes, they are
Yeah.
amazing. Krista, thank you for being so open and real today because I know it's not easy to come and, talk, uh, um, especially about your close family members. It's not that everything goes on every day like a picture perfect story. It has its ups and downs, and we thank you for that. We thank you for, just being real. Your story is going to resonate with so many people out there. And we do
Thank
welcome you back at a later
thank
time.
you.
You
It's
can come on.
been wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Before I go, I wanted to share a Bible scripture with my viewers and with you. It's Ephesians 6, verse 4, the Good News Translation. It says, Parents, do not treat your children in such a way as to make them angry. Instead, raise them with Christian discipline and instruction. And I think that one is for you. And this is the Good News translation.
Yes.
Before I go, let me encourage you all to love upon your loved ones in a way that they can appreciate the love right now while they still can. Krista, love upon those little, your two little cuties. Yes, my two cousins.
Yeah.
Continue taking good care of them. I love you.
Love you too. And this has
Yes.
been really, it's been really nice sharing. Really has.
Good to have you. Good to have you. And for all my viewers, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Share it with all your friends and all your families. Please, please, please. The moms out there, please drop your mommy hacks or a word of support for Krista and for my channel in the comments. I really appreciate you. See you all on my next episode. It's just a week away from now. Thanks again. Walk good and goodbye.